Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to GFT Radio Show. Tonight is August 10th, 2017. Guys, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Clint. You already know.
What up, though, folks? It's Willie Styles. I'm back.
Whatever.
I'm back, Willie.
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house? I'm saying. I had to. If you are listening right now,
Go ahead. You good.
If you are listening right now, you are on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. And if you want to call in to tonight's topic tonight, you can call in 657-383-1155. If you are on Twitter and you too shy to talk, tweet us at GFT_radio. And we will read your tweets live on the air as we are doing the show. So, do you guys want to jump into how your week was before we go to the topic?
For sure. So I guess I'll start. I spoke up first. My week's been good. A little hectic, but real good. I was out of town last week. Went to go visit a good friend of mine. So I was down in the sunny Florida weather for about 3 or 4 days. So it was fun. Got to hit the beach and all that good stuff. So came back to tons of work and trying to catch up on what was going on at the office. So that was tough, but it was still it was worth it. So then hanging with the kids too. So that's been good. So it's just been a good week. Trying to catch up and get back to reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Clint?
You know what I mean? My everything was regular. I ain't do too much. Same old, getting the workout in. You feel me? Spending time with my daughter. Supposed to plan on going to the beach this weekend. Outside of that, just regular.
Okay. Well, my week was uneventful as well. I got shit going on besides work, sleep, and my kids. The only plus side to this week is my son is doing better at his potty training. We've been doing it for the longest, and it's been a challenge with us. But so far, he has been getting the hang of it. So I'm hoping that this is consistent enough that he could be off pull-ups because, pull-ups and shit cost, and I'm over it.
For sure.
That's what's up.
Right? But I do want to tell.
Sorry for the background noise.
What you got going on over there? Like, what are you doing?
I was in the middle of doing something, getting settled, so I can get into the topic. My bad.
I'm not busy. I'm not judging you a little bit, but not really. But I do want to let listeners know that we have been working on a logo for our podcast, and so far, I hope you guys like it when we present it out. It'll be out shortly, so definitely would like feedback on there.
Yeah, for sure. I love the logo. I'm going to correct Sunny, and then I'm going to go ahead and put her on the spot because I think she deserves it. It was all Sunny's idea. She put the logo together, and it's a beautiful logo. So round of applause to Sunny for putting it down as usual. Always taking good care of us here at the podcast. So definitely, folks, check it out. Give us your feedback. Yes, for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
I do a lot of the behind the scenes. I'm busy. Like, been seeing my spare time trying to get stuff done for podcasts. But things I gotta get this thing together. And plus, I thought we needed a little change, something that I thought would look better. And I think this does. I didn't carve this shit out myself. I kind of used like a site that made me kind of tweak and make it, create something that I think that would look good for us. And it looks good. And the guys approved, got their stamp of approval. So we're good. You guys will see it pretty soon. We'll have, we'll do the whole Teespring merchandise thing. You guys can go there. Once that's up, all the links will be posted, and you'll see it throughout our website, our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and all those things. You'll see it change gradually. It won't all change in one day, but it will change probably within a week. So definitely we appreciate any and all feedback.
That's what we definitely want. More feedback.
Yeah, on everything from the logo to the show to the promotions to everything. Let us know how we doing out here.
Exactly.
Yeah. The more y'all let us know, the better our shows will be.
Exactly.
We already have great shows. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people tell us that the content that we have is really good. They like the camaraderie between us, and they just like the show topics, and we get a lot of feedback. But we want you guys to know that you can call in, you can tweet us, you can talk to us on our Facebook page. Most of us give out our information at the end of the show, so you can add us to follow us there. We follow fellow podcasters on there as well. We can interact with them. So we want you guys to interact with us as well. So definitely do that.
Definitely.
Exactly. But we're going to jump right into this topic. We had this conversation maybe about a few weeks back, and a couple weeks back where we was having a battle, a heated discussion in the inbox, because that's what we do. Y'all think that we just be on the show acting crazy. We be in the inbox heavy, trash talking. We do it all. We have our little go about before we even get to the show. So we started talking about hip hop. Y'all know I don't like certain people, so I had my stern opinions. I kept being called a hater and things like that. I was told what I can say on the air, what I shouldn't say on the air.
Tell them who you hate though.
Right. Tell them the immaculate rapper that you hate. Go ahead, tell them.
Immaculate. Here we go with that bullshit. Anywho, if any of you follow my no, but if any of you guys follow my Twitter, any social media I don't, y'all should know I don't like two people. We already know I don't fuck with the Beehive and Beyonce, aka Butt Pad, Jay-Z / aka Jay-Z. What you talking about? Because you want me to the gay pride community. But it's not even, I'm not calling him gay. I just, y'all know, if y'all listen to Nas when Jay-Z and Nas were beefing, y'all know I love Nas, and Jay-Z and Nas were beefing, and then, she called him Jay-Z, and ever since then, that's who he's been to me. So,
but that's Nas' boss. But that's Nas' boss now. You gotta go ahead and bow down like Nas did.
No, he didn't bow down because he's way more talented than Jay-Z. But he does work with him. That's different. And then Jay-Z knew he had to get Nas because he know he got killed.
All right, we gonna share this discussion for later in the show. Let's go ahead and get to the top of the topic.
Yes, Indian Groove. The topic for tonight's show is the culture of hip hop, and basically we had a bunch of different ideals, and this was my ideal, almost like the Brown Sugar movie, when it was what made you fall in love with hip hop? What was your first introduction to the culture of hip hop as a whole? What was it about hip hop that got you hooked? And just try to come off that. So to you guys, Willie and Clint, y'all can answer whatever y'all want to answer. But what was your first introduction to the culture of hip hop, and what got us hooked in you and made you hooked ever since?
All right. Well, I'm gonna start it off because I don't have the I mean, I probably have the longest history in this group of exposure to hip hop, but mine started with the introduction of what we knew hip hop to be back in the day. So we always had some type of different stuff going on in the black community, and then there was a bunch of side cultures going on. So the b-boy time, when the b-boys was coming out, the dancers, the graffiti artists, all that kind of stuff, all the way back to the late 70s, early 80s, so that was kind of what affected me initially. I would say the first thing that comes to my memory was listening to the Fat Boys and Run DMC and all them. They had that movie out back in the day, so it was just that movie right there that introduced me to it, and then listening to, some of the greats, that we had back then. At the time, they were brand new. So Run DMC, eventually LL Cool J, some of the other bigger names at that time, like Kool Moe Dee. So listening to their music, listening to the effect they had on the culture of what at the time what we call rock. It was like, we didn't really have our own. So it was just kind of like everybody called it rock. Everybody called it what it was. It wasn't rapping at the time at the beginning, but they started calling it, whatever they called it. It was, I think it was rapping at the time, but it was growing. It was evolving. So, watching it evolve was an amazing thing, because I got to see all these people try to make their, stake their post in the ground, make their impression and try to become bigger than the last group or the last artist. So it was an amazing time. So, that right there, that kind of lent to the love, because, when you watch somebody have that passion to kind of be different and to kind of, break out, it's a different kind of feeling than, some of the cookie cutter stuff you see nowadays, where it's just, everybody just trying to get on. There's not a lot of passion from some artists. So, it seemed like every artist had passion. Every artist was trying to make their mark in the game. So that's what did it for me. That's what made hip hop, the culture itself, impactful for me.
Okay, Clint.
Well, with me, my introduction to the culture, rapping the culture is different. My introduction to the hip hop culture, kind of similar to Willie. I remember in kindergarten watching breaking. When I was in kindergarten, I remember watching that, and I thought that was dope back in the day. You feel me? So that was my real introduction to like the hip hop culture, that b-boy and breakdancing and all that stuff. I always thought that was interesting. I was always intrigued by that as a little kid. But I ain't really get into rap. My uncle got me into rap. He used to have this poster on his wall, Eric B. and Rakim. And he used to always say Eric B. and Rakim, and this was late 80s, you feel me? And, I'm little at the time, but I vividly remember that poster sitting on his wall. I think he had an LL Cool J poster up there as well, Big Daddy Kane, and, that was my introduction. And then just listening to that, and my one of my favorite songs from back in the day was Slick Rick's Hey Young World. My uncle used to play that all the time. And I thought that song was amazing. It's a great story. You feel me? So that was like my first introduction to rap, really. And then you know what? I think people don't give enough credit to what really House Party, the movie House Party. That was big back in the day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then and watching them freestyle. And then I had one of my other uncles who used to rap. He was all into it. You know what I mean? And like that right there just captured the whole vibe back then for me. You know what I mean? And it had me ever since. You know what I mean? I'm a hip hop junkie, especially 90s hip hop, early 2000 hip hop junkie. But that's where it all started from, that little era right there, the late 80s, Eric B. Rakim, Slick Rick, and then right into the house party. That just took it. That made me want to perform. Made me want to write. I remember me and my boys back in the day trying to freestyle with the kids at elementary. So that's when I fell in love with hip hop.
For sure.
Sonny, I think we might have lost.
I think we might have lost Sonny for a second, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the visuals. I mean, as we kind of just touched on there, a lot of the visuals kind of helped us really connect to the visuals. Also, the different aspects of it, right? Like you said, it's not just rap. There's dancing. Mm-hmm. There's like I said, for us, it was the graffiti, it was the clothes, it was the shoes, it was the attitudes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the attitudes back then. It was like you didn't see, those kind of the bravado of the rappers. You didn't see that in or the hip hop artists. You didn't see that in rock artists, and you didn't see that in R&B artists and things like that. So I think a lot of that lent to, you know, some of the appeal. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I grew up in the hood, so it was like, you know, you saw that kind of bravado out of the gangsters, but you didn't see that in your music. You didn't see that in your TV shows or anything like that. So to see that and to see that they look like us, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was amazing for me as a kid to see that kind of thing kind of like out there, you know, because when you look at TV as a kid, you feel like everybody watching. It's affecting everybody all over the world. So you feel like everybody's into it at the same time, and for that to be what they were displaying, I'm like, man, this was crazy to me. And knowing that these guys was just everyday guys, and they were able to do videos and tapes and
you know what? What was great back then was the diversity in hip hop.
Yeah,
you feel me? As far as the music goes too. Nah, I mean, it's like it wasn't just one sound that dominated. You know what I mean? Like all the artists was unique. You feel me? Had their own style, and it was all dope.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And then, like you said, they looked like us, and they represented where we came from. You know what I mean? We really didn't have, you know, growing up until hip hop. We really didn't have, like you said, anything that depicted us in that way. You feel me? And then, you know, I'm a writer, so I always like reading, writing. So then I get captured by lyrics more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just listen to how people put their words together, you know, then put it to a beat. Like that always was dope to me. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like, you know what I mean, rap is like one of the highest forms of music to date that ever been, because it's so creative. And then you really, you know what I mean? Like you can either tell your story, tell a story, you know, or just make a good song for people to dance to. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Like I love the transition over the years. It definitely transitioned over the years. But back then, you know what I mean, like the 90s, I always felt like it was just more diversity in hip hop.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're right, and I think that's another appeal too is the diversity. I mean, not only with the music, but the storytellers themselves. You know, from women to the gangsters to the back then it was like when it really first started, it was like, you know, we didn't really have a lot of gangsters, but we had some guys we could tell they was into a lifestyle, and then you also had you know, the partiers. You had, you know, it was like so many different voices in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, even for me, you know, I was a big kid, you know, and when I first heard the Fat Boys song, man, the Fat Boys are back. I was like, man, they talking to me, because, you know, I'm a fat boy. I mean, it was just like they talk to everybody, you know, and I think that's, you know, what really made me fall in love with the genre, because there was so much going on. Like I said, like you said, it's a culture. And when we go back to talking about the culture itself, it's how it affected us in the way that we, you know, move through these streets. You know, from the way we walked and talked to the way we dressed to the way we did things. You know, everything was evolving and changing on the outside too. You know what I'm saying? So it was
rebellious.
Yeah,
it was rebellious.
Yeah.
That was the major thing. Like it was totally rebellious to the system. You know what I mean? And it was us like coming and claiming our own thing. So that's what made it so special.
Exactly. Yeah, Sonny, what was your introduction, Sonny?
My introduction was at a family picnic. I don't know how old I was, but I don't remember how old I was. But I was at a family picnic, and Rapper's Delight came on Sugar Hill then. And, like, you know, they were there bopping, and, like, to me, like Clinton said, the lyrics are too, but the beat gets me sucked in. Like, when you get a good beat, you just, like, bopping your head, and it's like, what is this? And I remember, like, seeing my mom and family members, like, rapping along and just hanging out. And I'm like, this is a cool-ass song. And then, you know, I got sucked in with that. And then you get Run DMC, and then you get, like, Slick Rick. Oh, I love all of his songs. Like, I love them. It was like he, and then you got W Fresh, like what he like just. It was a lot of people that like I got growing up into, but when I got of age and I kind of like really listened to what they were saying, it was of course it was Queen Latifah, like everybody was down with OPP, and she oh my God, and I loved like just a lot of them that came out, and it wasn't just females, it was like a lot of different rappers came out, and then when I really got into hip hop, that's back when Biggie and Tupac really got into it, and I like my Bones Thugs too. I don't know if they consider hip hop, but like it mixed with all that, but like Tupac, I liked a lot of his songs. I like Biggie too, but I was more of a Tupac fan, but I like Biggie too. So like that's when I really got sucked in. I actually listened to the words of the song. And I really was like, okay, now I want to, buy, that's when we were trying to record shit off the radio with the cassette tapes and shit like that. Yep. So that's when you really get stuck in, because tonight they can mixtape, your own little tapes that you can listen to later and, like, learn all the words to the songs that you've been listening to on the radio for the longest.
Right.
So that's when I got, and then, like, you got, like, the outfits, like I remember when Run DMC did that Walk This Way with Aerosmith, that was like the biggest shit ever. Could nobody believe that? But like, that was like I remember that song. I remember like when it came out. I remember learning the little steps that they were doing. Like I was excited about that, and that gets you something like the dance moves, break dancing, like the beatbox and the DJ, like the real like the DJing now is not like how it was when it was back then.
Yeah, they used to scratch and all
like
that.
Like they used to scratch hard. Like these people got computers and shit like that. I mean, and it may be similar, but it's not like how it was. Like all that, like the culture, the clothes. I remember everybody had the Adidas suits when Run DMC came out. Everybody had them. They had the little Kango hats.
Right. Exactly.
It was that whole everything, and like Prince said, they were all telling their own stories about like stuff that they were going through. Like, and that's why it was relatable, and it's like, okay, now this music is more relatable to people like me, and now I got something I can sing to instead of this, other stuff. And it was like hardcore. It wasn't just all R&B and I love you, baby. Can you woo 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 and all that stuff.
To me, like it was so great growing up because like you can listen to De La Soul and go listen to like a Cool G rap.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Go listen to like a Showbiz and AG, and then go listen to Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? You can listen to Diggable Planets, and then go listen to Onyx.
Right.
It was
right.
like,
it was
Right.
Like it was so many different vibes back then. You feel me? Like, oh man, I miss.
Yeah, I mean the '90s was everything.
Oh wow, Grandmaster Flag.
Yeah.
What about Grandmaster Flag? That song. That was that shit. So,
I know.
Like I'm talking about, like going to family barbecues and hearing these songs. Like I know y'all heard them when y'all were kids. They had them in
Yep. Yeah. Man, we can go on and on about those. Man.
Yeah.
That's just everything, especially like you said.
I'm just thinking of people like what?
Yeah. So, real quick, if anybody wants to, call in, talk about their introduction to hip hop, what made them love hip hop, 657-383-1155. Again, the number 657-383-1155. Phone lines are open, or tweet us at GFT_radio. We'll be reading your tweets live.
Yes, and kind of going to where we got to, like the classics, like the hip hop classics that we like. When you hear that song come on, you know all the words. Like you can go from back in the day up until like I remember it's funny because I was sitting in my house one day and Juicy came on, and my daughter is like rapping along with me. Like Tupac can come on, keep your head up and she in there. I remember Marvin Gaye. She knows the words because she know like that's. And I told her, I said, that's real music. That's not like just Molly Percocet. It's none of that shit. It's real,
Right.
Or like I hate that fucking dumbass song such and such. That's whack as hell. That I don't understand how that's popular when you got songs like how we grew up on that was like classic songs that if you hear right now anywhere you at, you gonna be like, oh shit, and you gonna be all the words doing the moves from the video and all.
Right. So I guess.
So what would be your classic?
Right. So what was your question?
I said, what were some of y'all memorable classics that you know that if you hear it now, you still gonna be like, that was that shit?
Oh, I mean, for me, the classic stuff for me is definitely the stuff that came out in the late '80s, early '90s. Everything from the Kool Moe D's to the Big Daddy Kane songs to stuff from Run DMC, LL Cool J, his whole, Walk Like a Panther and albums like that. Listening to the old school greats. Those are the straight classics for me. Stuff in the '90s is still hits home for me. Is stuff that I love. Everything from Tupac to Biggie to DMX.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many greats that came out in the '90s. I can't even name them all. There's just so many great artists that came out back then, and producers, that just really made the culture evolve at that time. Like Clint keeps alluding to, man. It's that '90s era for me was what was really kind of personified it. You know what I mean? Because we saw a lot in the '80s and we did a lot, but when they started to really, really evolve, when you had NWA coming out and kind of creating, well, I won't say creating, but I feel like they created it, or they're not really created. They made it as big as it was that gangster rap sound and the actions and the things that they talked about. Even Ice-T, you know what I mean? So it was so much going on, bringing that West Coast sound to the foray. Luke and all the artists down south, UGK, when they first got big, it was and Outkast. You can't talk about the South without talking about Outkast.
Yeah.
So because Outkast came out the door swinging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you had so many new areas and so many new voices in the mix that were really evolving the craft and bringing hip hop to the roots, or not the roots, but to the forefront of what a true musical culture was. Because at that point,
can't forget Public Enemy either.
Oh yeah, definitely Public Enemy. Definitely, when you speak about the greats and you speak about the classics, you definitely got to talk about Public. So I think that a lot of that music, that like those late '80s, that early '90s, mid '90s, all that stuff, that right there does it for me every time. It just brings back memories.
Yeah, I think we got in the best era because you got to the point where like you got the early '80s people all the way to the '90s. Like that time right there was like some of the best music coming out for like hip hop or just as a music as a whole. There's a lot of stuff good coming out, but we're like mainstream to hip hop right now. But Clint, what were some of your like classes that you?
Oh man, I mean, it's so hard to really pinpoint, but I guess I can go eras. Like I said, like Hey Young World is still one of my all-time favorite songs. Like I said, that's what really introduced me. So that's really one of my favorite songs. Then you can go right into Willie mentioned Snoop Dogg. You feel me? That whole Doggy Style album, to tell you the truth. Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like that. You feel me? Like that captured the whole era for me. You know what I mean? And then you can go right into like, I'm a Wu-Tang. Like Wu-Tang is my favorite hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm like, you feel me? I call myself a Wu baby. So like, from End of the 36 Chamber to the Purple Tape to Wu-Tang Forever to all the albums in between, Iron Man by Ghostface Killer, oh man, I'm doing my boy justice right. Song he had with Mary J. Blige.
Method Man.
No.
Not him.
The song goes so bad. Saturday cartoons, eating cereal.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Oh man.
Yeah,
I can't the name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's one of my favorite.
Now I'm trying to think what the hell that was. Damn it.
Yeah, that was Ghostface, and you know, always.
Oh hell yeah! How the hell I forget that shit? That all that I got is you.
Yeah.
Oh my! How the hell did I not think of that shit? That was that shit.
Yeah.
Oh sorry.
Yeah, you know, I remember my first time. You know, my first time hearing that song. You feel me? Like as a little kid, I actually said the tears. You feel me? Because it was so like
It was such a real ass song.
Yeah, you know what I mean? When you go through stuff like some similar stuff, you know what I mean, that he just sang and the song hit so close to home, he's like, damn, now family ain't family no more. So forth. I mean, like, it was just deep. You know, even up until this era, you feel me? Like, I don't want to shortchange this era. The only thing, you know, because there's some dope artists in this era that have picked songs that have made some classic songs.
I got a question regarding the current era. I have a question for the current era.
Before
I think.
Question, go ahead. After Clint go out, I got a question about the middle. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to say, you know, I mean, one of the most underrated artists that I feel, he's from Jersey, he's one of my favorite artists, is Joe Budden. You know, most people remember him from like Pump It Up. Oh, you know what I mean? Pump It Up. That's all they think about when they hear Joe Budden. But when you go through his catalog of music, and when you listen to his songs, like that man, especially his new music catalog, a mixtape, and when you listen to how introspective and how deep he get in his lyrics, like, you know, that he's just one of my favorite artists. You know what I mean? He got one song called Dumb Out where he just spazzing. You know what I mean? It's an old song, but you know what I mean, early 2000s, but you know what I mean, he's one of my favorites, so you know, he got a couple classics in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that Mood Music series, the All Love Lost, Padded Room, man. He got so many albums. It's amazing. I mean, and then being part of Slaughterhouse, you know, with Royce the 5'9", one of my favorite artists, and you know, so it's like, man, the Joe Budden is definitely underrated and slept on artist, definitely. But yeah, my question before we get to the current time is, okay, so you know, 2006, our ephemeral a classic artist, what's his name, Nas. He came out with a song. He came out with a song called Hip Hop is Dead, right? So we're talking, this is mid 2000s, but by then I think a lot of people had already felt like that, right? So what time period or what, you know, series of songs or artists or what did it for you when you realized that things had gotten out of control in hip hop, that things had started to take a turn?
Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy up in there. Oh, watch me, Chris. Like, what the fuck? It was catchy as hell, but no.
I don't blame Soldier Boy because that really.
It was catchy as hell.
Yeah, like them type of songs. You know, hip hop always had fun songs and dance songs. You feel me? Yeah. Hip hop was. That's why I said diversity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into that to my thing.
That's his lyrics. It's his lyrics, though.
Everything.
Here's the problem.
Even
you can have a dope beat. You can have a good, catchy ass hook. But when you ain't saying shit, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, but see, it was so much music back then that we can go back to that we call it classics that was hit, that we love. They really wasn't saying nothing back then neither. You feel me? It was, you know, people like us was listening to them like, yo, what are they talking about? You feel me? All they talking about shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I got money. You feel me? They just saying the same thing over and over again.
Sorry.
You know, but with me, it came with, around that time, radio had changed. You feel me? It was like it was going through a transition. It was fighting the internet. With so much music was getting released on the internet, you know, the radio. You know, you really back then we would go to the radio to hear something new drop. You feel me? Out here, we had different radio stations. Like on Friday, late night Friday, they play all just classic hip hop, new hip hop. You feel me? That breaking new songs, and this, that, and the third. Around that time that y'all talk about, like 06, look, probably like 04, 05, you notice that the radio was just playing one like one type of sound of hip hop.
Yeah.
Either it was, like that's why we got the crunk era. It was just all you heard was like, like the crunk type music. Then it went to the, when T.I. came, it was more like trap music.
Right.
That's all you was type. Just that type of music, that type of rap, that type of sound, I should say. It's all you would hear on the radio. All the way up to today, when you listen to the radio, you feel me? You don't know who you listening to sometimes, because they all sound the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
So, that's what kind of soured me on hip hop, because, now you really got to do your due diligence and research. It's still abundance of talent out there. There's still a lot of great rappers out there. But now you really got to search for it, because, the mainstream not going to show it anymore.
And it's even rappers that's out, like when J. Cole came out. I liked him as a rapper. I liked just how he was and how his music. I think when you get people like that, like he was hot for a good minute, and then like he went off somewhere else, and then nobody's heard from him.
J. Cole following is humongous.
Yeah, because he has talent. He has talent. Like, and it's crazy because you look at it like you say, you look at the music now and you see like just what the media says is popular, and it's trash. Like you got these songs, like I said, you look at these songs now, you got songs talking about drugs all the time and people popping pills. When the fuck did that become a fad? Crackheads used to be hiding, and now this is like all we're thinking about is drugs. So the people that's talking about real shit and got like something to say, they're not getting that airtime because they got Molly's and Percocets going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I can't really say that because Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, all these dudes, you know what I mean? Like I remember lyrics them talking about they used to sniff coke, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's in the 90s.
All that about smoking weed and stuff and all that shit, but that was just weed. It was
they used to talking about Sherm, all that back then. You know what I mean? All that stuff was talked about back then. You feel me? It's just like now it's so highlighted.
But it was, but that's what it said. It was undercover because then you get like D'Angelo came out with that Brown Sugar, that song Brown Sugar. A lot of people thought whatever they wanted to think about it. So they were talking about a woman or whatever thing they thought he was talking about. He talked about trees. But you know what I'm saying? Like they kind of hit it in the lyrics.
Right.
But then you get these rappers that just saying I'm popping perk and like you had Rick Ross talking about cutting the coke and like just all this stuff. And I get it, like it was back in the day, but like now they just bold. They don't even like it's not even no censorship. Like a lot of shit you couldn't say on these songs.
They was real upfront. I can remember artists real upfront talk about smoking weed. You know what I mean? To my thing about with the doing drugs, only thing different now is, to me it's no different than how many rappers talk about selling drugs all the damn time. You feel me? Now they just talk about they using drugs. That we got to understand the era we in. You feel me? Outside of hip hop, the culture we in the street, like that's what these people are doing. You know what I mean? Everybody's out here popping Percocet and Molly, getting high, drinking lean. That's what they're doing. So when they hear these songs, that's why these songs are so popular, because these are really the lifestyles people are living. Like that Mask Off. Like it's capturing a vibe. You know what I mean? A lot of these songs like that Mask Off, Molly put. I mean, like that captures a feeling. You feel me? And like people love that feeling. You know what I mean? So I really can't say like this era is trash because there's still a lot of dope artists. Like I think Future is a dope artist.
Yeah, but he get overshadowed by a bunch of other shit.
Right. I mean, I think a lot of the artists that are really making it, but have been around for a few years. I think a lot of them have some talent, but then sometimes I think they they get caught up, like you said, Clint, and trying to cater to the era that we live in, right? And they cater to this drug fueled mentality. This some of it is misogynist, some of it is overplayed machoism. So everything is always amplified in terms of what they're trying to go after, but it's all over, trying to sell the records, right? And sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with the culture, and it definitely doesn't have anything to do with trying to keep their fan base interested. You know what I mean? It's more in the moment. Like let's just make this music for the moment and move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think when some artists started doing music in like I forgot what they call it. Because really technically, like the Jay-Z's, the Lil Wayne's, they kind of started this when they started to do this. Oh God, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the word I want to use, but basically, they go in the studio and they pump out a bunch of content, right? And for them, it's fine because they are catering to their fan base. They are keeping things interesting for their fan base. But then you have other artists trying to do the same thing, like Future, and you end up with stuff like Molly Percocet, right? Which is catchy, it works, but you also have a bunch of garbage that gets pumped out. I mean, Future. I guess it's a personal thing, but like Future released 2 albums in the last 6 months, right? And out of both of those albums, I think it was the first album, which was like, I think it was called Future. The other one was called Hendrix. So the Future album, it was like one good song on that whole album. I mean, the rest of it sounded all the same because they were pumping. Whoever he was using for production, they were pumping out the same beats. The content was basically him humming and grinding on every track because he was probably on drugs at the time, and it sounded like garbage to me, and I saw a lot of commentary out there that kind of spoke to that and how, he was just pushing out content. And then you get to Hendrix, which actually was kind of amazing. Exactly. It was kind of a project thing that he did, which had actually been in the works for over a year and a half. He had started off with a few songs and then set it to the side, and then he came back to it. You could tell because, like you said, it was interesting. It had amazing songs on it. The content may have been left and right, but it was still, he had put it together. It was a well put together project, and it stood out. And you could tell. You see somebody like Kendrick Lamar, not to be riding the Kendrick Lamar train, but he's one of those artists that he started to take his time with his music. You're talking. I mean, some of it he said was part of his process because of his issues he's gone through. But I mean, he's gone, a year and a half, 2 years between music, before he puts something out. And you can tell because he's crafting these albums, these epics. Forget albums. He's crafting these epics, these stories. And you can tell that, the content is there. He's intertwining these songs. I read an article about the Damn album, and it talked about how technically the Damn album is 2 different albums. You listen to it, in the track order, the regular track order, but then you listen to it backwards in the opposite order, and it tells a different story, and you hear the story evolve a different way. I mean, who does that nowadays? Nobody, because that's just one of those things that you have to sit down and craft that album to make it work like that, right? So a lot of them aren't taking their time. They're just kind of throwing stuff on the wall and hoping it sticks. I mean, Lil Uzi Vert, he's the new Soulja Boy. Tell him, he's producing, he's quote unquote rapping, but he says he's a rock star. He don't know where he's at really. I mean, one minute he's talking about boats, the next minute he's talking about whatever. I don't know. The guy's all over the place, but he's throwing stuff on the wall and hoping something sticks. It works in a way, and then in another way, it turns a lot of people off. So I think that's one of the main issues, nowadays is that we have too many people just trying their best to just pump out a bunch of stuff, and they really ain't doing nothing. They really ain't saying nothing.
And then they sounded like that's the issue. Like they sounded like, so if somebody get a hit, you feel me? Like You know, next thing you know, somebody gonna follow right behind. Same thing happened with Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy dropped that Superman song. Next thing you know, whole bunch of people after that came out with songs with dance and one-hit wonders.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Exactly.
And that's where like hip hop. That's why I don't pay attention to like mainstream hip hop that much. You know, certain artists, of course. Excuse me, but when you pay attention to mainstream hip hop, you're gonna get a skewed view. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a slanted eye. You know, even with Future. You know, like when I hear people talk about Future, oh, he's mom, I be like, see, I can tell they don't listen to a lot of his music. You know, a lot of his music is no different from, you know, when we talk about Jay, when we talk about Nas, we talk about all these other greats. You know, their content really, you know, they grow to usually still the same. You know what I mean? Like Jay no different from his first album. Jay still talking like a hustler. He's still talking money talk. You feel me? He's still talking slick talk. He's been doing that since day one. You feel me? So he really hasn't changed just his content. It's just that he matured, you know, a little bit, you know. But you know, the core, when I listen to Future, if you go back and listen to some of his music, it's like, oh man, like that dude is really talented. But we'll never hear, like my boy used to always get mad with Jay, because Jay will always drop a radio song. Even when, you know, like I remember when he dropped Change Clothes off that album, like my boy was upset. Like, why would Jay drop that song? Jay don't have to drop that song no more. He's already established. You feel me? So now, when you go listen to the album, there's deeper songs on that album. It's just like with life. So I agree with you that, you know, because L.A. Reid said the same thing you said on the interview about Future, because I guess he worked with Future. You know, because they asked him, like, why Future put out so much music? You know what I mean? You don't tell me that I need to chill out. He's like, you know, I feel as though he's doing it wrong, but, you know, he's such a creative, I can't, you know, he's not going to stop. In his mind, he feel like he got 1,000 hits. So he's just going to keep putting them out. That's how he feels. You know what I mean? But, you know, I just think with this era, it's just too many people sound the same. And when y'all first heard Panda, y'all thought that was Future. I know I did.
I still think it's Future. I don't know what to think about that.
I didn't know who the hell that was. Like I said, this is how far I don't listen. Like, I really have never listened to a lot of stuff, so that's my bring it to my attention that it's a good song, because I'm still listening to my shit that I like from back in the day, or like was recent but not that far off. Like the songs that I consider good hip hop music or good music, period. So I don't really listen to anything until somebody say, hey, listen to this song, it's really good, because I just like, and so when it came out, I was like, who the hell is that? Who make a song about Panda? And they was like, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And like, I really didn't know who it was.
Right. Can I challenge you with something though? I got a question for you, Sonny.
What?
Now, I mean, but this is for both of y'all. Really, this is for everybody that's listening. You know, because I always hear people talking about, they love back in the day hip hop. Did y'all grow with your artists? Because a lot of these rappers that we celebrate never stop making music.
Right.
Never stop putting out albums.
I mean, Boss Thugs.
So if y'all still looking for that,
they don't have 4 or 5 other albums since the last commercial thing that they did.
I know. My favorite group is Boss Thugs, so I've been in love with them since back in the day, and I still love them.
You know what I mean?
So it's like to their new stuff. I mean, they got a whole new album just came out.
Exactly.
I caught a couple of their songs. I haven't listened to I can't sit there and say I listened to all the new stuff, but I heard a lot of the new content. I watched a lot of their little interviews and stuff like that, because I follow them on Instagram, and I'm like on their website and stuff too. So I hear like snippets like that, but like to say I listen to a whole entire album, no. But they still make good music. I still like their music. Even if I listen to something new, I'm like, that's still dope. Like I listened to them when they was making. I remember when they got past, you know, the Crossroads, and they made the song with Phil Collins, "Take Me Home." Like I love that song. And a lot of people like, why did they? Huh?
No, sorry. Yeah, I love that song too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. And people like, oh no, they fell off. I'm like, no, they didn't. They making new music. They growing. They not the same people they were back then. They went through a lot of shit within themselves and personally. So like even like now, like it's not all 5 of them now. It's 4 of them now. So they were all 5 songs and now it's 4. So it's like damn, like one person less. I hope they come back because they break up the makeup. But we like listen to their songs. Listen to snippets of their songs that they have currently. They're still good songs and they still got that same. Just like that same harmonizing, that same how they flow together. I like when they all together because they just feed off of each other. And like for some that I consider weak in the group, I think the others that are stronger make them strong because they help them out. With like lyric parts. Because you can tell because if you listen to them as artists, you listen to them separately, you know who the stronger, like who have the better skill set, and they kind of help each other. So.
Right. So I kind of feel like that I've grown with the artists that I love from the past and things that they either are doing now or that they're still putting out if they're still putting out music. I mean, like following a career like of a Jay-Z, of a LL Cool J, of a Bone Thugs. I mean, there's a lot of different artists. I mean, look at Eminem. I mean, Eminem has grown over the years. Some of the things he's done, either they grow, they regress, they do a little bit of everything, right, up and down. I mean, Snoop Dogg is the epitome of evolving. He's gone from gangster rapper to reggaeton to rocker to back to rap, back to he's done a little bit of everything. So every artist that you could probably speak to that's been around for more than 5 or 6 years, they've all gone through their growth spurts and their ups and downs and all that kind of thing. And I think you do a disservice to hip hop when you turn your back on either what's evolving or what's new, because even though we can disagree, I think at some point you have to agree to disagree with what's happening, because it's not the only thing that's happening. I think you kind of touched on that, Clint, is that, mainstream radio or mainstream music will show you one thing. But if you take a step back and look for something else, you'll find it. A lot of people say nowadays, we don't have good music anymore. We don't have we don't have artists that are representing, what we used to get back in the past, which was good lyrics, great stories, but we do. I mean, you look at a Chance the Rapper, a Vic Mensa, look at a Dave East, look at I mean, even
Nick Grant.
A Nick Grant. I mean, there's so many artists, new artists, brand new new artists that are coming out and that are putting together beautiful epics of musical genius, but people aren't giving them the looks because they're not selling, they're not streaming 5 million streams in a day, or they're not, pumping out, 17 albums every 12 days, whatever it takes. They're putting together these well-crafted visuals to whatever topic, whatever stories that they're putting out, and people don't give them the credit. I mean, even people who are on top of the game, like J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, sometimes they don't even get the looks because you got a Lil Uzi Vert or Yachty Young Black Kodak or something, whatever them guys are called. You got them messing up the game. So a lot of it is what's being put out by the media and what's being put out by mainstream or top 40 FM radio. I've had to kind of step away from a lot of that. I mean, I listen to it with the kids because my kids ain't old enough to listen to what I listen to, but when I'm in the car or I'm listening to stuff, I'm either on the blogs or I'm listening to the satellite radio, because you get more exposure to more of what's really out there. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that music that we're really looking for, that people who are really into the real culture, what we're really looking for, it's not in the mainstream. It's underground, or it's in it's in the mixtape circuit, or it's on Shade 45 or Hip Hop Nation. That's where you're gonna really get your real music from. Listen to a Tony Toka on Tuesdays. He putting out the music. What's his name? The Street Sweepers. They putting out good music. The LA Leakers. Oh my God, listen to the LA Leakers show. That's where you're going to get your new music that's really hot, not the stuff that's on top 40 FM. So
exactly.
I have a question, guys. So, since people seem to think that hip hop is some people may disagree. If you can name a rapper that's out currently that is the embodiment of the true hip hop religion, who would you say it is, or culture? Who would you say it is?
Yeah, well, first, what are you gonna move up?
Go ahead, Clint. I gotta think about that one.
That's a good one, right?
Are we relegated to just one?
Well, no. You can name more than one. You could just I just want to know who do you think that is the embodiment of the hip hop culture as it was intended.
The whole culture, not just the music part, not just the rapping, not just the culture. That's at least how I'm hearing the question.
I mean, it could be either or.
It could be either. Oh, it could be either or. Okay.
I'm gonna stick with rap. Because if we talk about the whole culture, I got a whole different question for y'all about the culture, and after this question. But I guess you said new
or current.
Current, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can really just name a couple. I guess you could go with Kendrick. You go with J. Cole. I'm gonna go with people like I mentioned Nick Grant. I think he's a nice, dope up and coming artist. He got a mixtape that came out not too long ago called 88, which is amazing. Their Daisy. Dude. You know who I like on the low? That's going to catch everybody off guard because everybody knows me for like the lyrics. Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah.
Like
oh my God.
I like Rich Homie Quan.
What did he say to that? What is his song?
Okay, so Quan's got like
Walk Through.
Is it three mixtapes? You gotta listen to his mixtapes.
Lead to the yeah. Lead up to the album, yeah.
Yeah. Don't
back
listen
to back to the basics.
Exactly.
Yeah. And another one rapper that I always say is very underrated. He's never gonna get the respect he deserves. Just I guess because everybody just look at him as some wild child that I don't understand why. It's Ace Hood.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ace Hood. Yes, yeah. His mixtapes, his latest mixtapes have been on point. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called? Body something. Body.
Can't think of it. I know he got that Starvation series.
Yeah, the Starvation series. Yeah.
Go 1 through 5. I mean, it's amazing. I think he's a dope artist.
Yeah. You know who slept on too. I mean, yeah, this is really talking to the culture. See, when I look at the culture, I'm looking at when you bring the creativity, when you bring the attitude to it, and you also kind of you don't try to shine the spotlight, but you try to bring yourself into the spotlight. I love K-Camp. K-Camp is. I mean, he's a rapper and a singer, but he's doing.
Who the hell is that? I don't even know these people. I don't know.
Like I'm saying, you're doing yourself a disservice to the culture when you don't explore these new artists and these up and coming artists.
Yeah.
But now I'm about to piss everybody off. When I really think about the culture and what was intended, or what eventually what was intended. I won't say what was intended initially, but what was eventually intended. Who I think about, I'm about to make y'all mad. Kanye West. Kanye West is the embodiment of listen to me.
Go ahead.
Listen to me. The hip hop culture is all about everything. It's the music, it's the fashion, it's the attitude, it's the creativity. It's also about bringing these stories to people, right? Now, it doesn't have to be always your stories. Bringing somebody else into the forefront so their stories could be told. Kanye West has done that all the way across the board. I mean, and it's crazy to me that a person who I think didn't intend to do what they did, and probably still isn't intended to do what he's doing. He's kind of stumbled into this where, I mean, he wants to be a fashionista, but the thing is that that's what hip hop has always been about, being different, right? And what you wore and how you presented yourself doing that. You know, the whole thing of his album, his record label rather. His record label is all about bringing these amazing artists to the table and letting them be seen and telling their stories. I mean, he's got Common, he's got Big Sean, he's got what's my man name? Help me out here, folks. He's
Pusha T.
Oh yeah. Pusha T. He's got all these amazing artists in different kind of walks of life, right? You got Common, who's like a hip hop veteran, a classic artist himself. You got Big Sean, up and coming, you know, a hip hop superstar. You got Pusha T, who's still kind of, you know, who's been in the forefront from the beginning. Like, I mean, I think the Clips was out in like '99, but he never really took off. But he's also been a voice in the ghetto, a respected lyricist, and letting him shine. You know, you got all these different artists that he's putting out, and then himself, you know, being a producer, being a rapper. You know, I don't think he writes a lot of his stuff, but he's a producer. You know, he's produced a lot of top tracks that's been out over the years, from Jay-Z to all the Rockefeller artists to other artists, R&B artists, country artists even. You know, he's the epitome of what you would consider the embodiment of the hip hop culture, because he's done and touched pretty much all of it.
I agree. You know, I mean, Kanye hands is all over hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, you know, like he said in that interview on the Breakfast Club that time. Like, he's like, oh look. He's like, you see all these rappers, everybody collabing, but I started that back up.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Everybody was beefing. You feel me? I started that back up with Swagger Like Us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Some of Jay-Z's biggest songs Kanye produced.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when you look at people like Drake, all them dudes, Kid Cudi.
Yes, Kid Cudi.
A couple other dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they little, you know what I mean? Like, Kanye influenced all them dudes. You know, like, Kanye influence is heavy. So.
Well, see, yeah, because I agree. I liked his, when he came out with College Dropout, when that was one of I loved that entire album. Like, there wasn't no songs I didn't like. And I think, like, even as years, like, he's been as this obnoxious, crazy psychopath, and I think it really messed him up after his mom died. That's why he went, like, really off the deep end. But he's talented. You can't deny talent. That boy got talent, and like, as outside of being a producer, just his whole he's just talented. Period. So it sucks when you get somebody gets a bad rep for being how they are, just outside of the rap and outside that he just like that. Like, that's how the person he is. It kind of overshadows his talent, but you can't deny it. Like I said, I don't like Jay-Z, but that man is talented. I can't say that he's not talented. I can't say that, you know, like, I don't like him personally. Do I think he's the best rapper of all time? No, but he does have talent. It is what it is. He know how to make his money, and he do what he need to do to do what he's supposed to do. You got to respect it at some point. Even if you don't like him, you got to respect it. Even like I don't like Buckhead, but, you know, people, when you have talent and it's undeniable, that's what it is. You can't. You got to give it where it's due.
Right, you respect what that's true. Yeah.
My thing with when people battle, I don't understand why we got to choose sides instead of just enjoy the music. Like, it baffles me, and I ain't talking about you, Sonny, but it baffles me ever since 2001 when that beef started between Jay and Nas. When I heard somebody be like, if they rooting for Jay, like, Nas whack. Or if they rooting for Nas, they be like, Jay whack. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that don't make, if you're a true hip hop fan, you'll understand that both of the men are legends. They both are dope. You know what I mean? You don't have to choose a side. Enjoy the show.
Exactly.
Enjoy
the show for sure.
Enjoy the show.
Exactly.
You feel me? You don't have to choose a side. You're doing yourself a disservice when you choose a side. Because now you just blocking off a whole, you know what I mean, that man catalog is incredible. Both of those men catalogs are incredible.
I like these kind of time.
Yeah, so it's like you stop listening to Nas. Like, you know what I mean? I knew people who got me like, man, I ain't fucking with Nas no more. Like, what?
Right,
how?
That's crazy.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, that don't make no sense. Now, I mean, I wanted to touch on some, before I lose my train of thought, that Willie had brought up. Damn it, I think I just lost it. Shit. We were talking about the culture. Yeah. Today's culture, hip hop culture, because Sonny said what it intended to be. You know, I don't know if it ever was intended to be something. Like, we know how it started, but it has evolved to something else. You feel me? And here go my point. When he said when you don't keep up with the current hip hop, my thing is nowadays we sound like people of our age sound like how our parents sounded when we start listening to hip hop. What are you listening to? What is that garbage? You know what I mean? What is they saying? I can't even understand what they're saying. I'm like, and now we're saying it to this younger generation. You feel me? My thing is we have to go back. We have to put our, selves back in their shoes when we was young. Like, it's a different era. They're in a different thing than what we were as kids. You gotta respect that. So when you hear music from like 18 and 19-year-old, we're listening to it mid-30s. You know what I mean? We 80s, 70s babies. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we're listening to it from a different era, different perspective, a different experience. So we can't relate solely, but we put ourselves in their shoes. When we were their age and we were getting the same thing, I think we can respect it, and then that means we can learn to listen and learn to allow the culture to grow. You feel me? Do some things need to change? Yeah, but I don't. Now I got a friend. He said he don't listen to no new rap. Like, he don't listen to none of it. And I'm like, damn, man. Yeah, I'm like, damn, like, you doing yourself a disservice. Like I said, that mainstream crap, like, get away from that. That's not all what's rap. That's all that's out here. You feel me? There's some rappers out here better than your favorite rappers back in the day. That's a fact.
True.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. There's some rappers now that are better than some of our favorite rappers back in the day.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. You feel me? People learn. The wordplay get different, get more intricate, content deeper. Times have changed. Like, so when you cut yourself off from that, you feel me? You're hurting hip hop and you're doing a disservice to yourself, like Brother Willie said.
Mhm. Yeah, like I say, you're definitely doing a disservice to the culture when you don't embrace the culture and you don't support the culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what's needed. We have to be able to pass this knowledge down to the kids, and the kids pass it down to their kids, and so on and so forth. We have to be able to say, look, we were like I think somebody mentioned it earlier in the conversation. It was the rebellion, right? And that's what you're seeing now is that these new artists they're trying to put in their own little piece of rebellion. They're trying to I mean the one thing I do respect about I think it was Lil Yachty. I think it was either Lil Yachty or one of them guys I kind of don't like, but I kind of still respected it. It was just that they're doing things kind of on their own terms. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Lil Yachty, because Lil Yachty I think he was the one that said, I'm not a rapper, because he knows he can't rap, right? He's like, I'm not a rapper. He's like, but I'm a rock star. He's like, I'm kind of like a representative for the music and a representative for the culture, because I'm out here. I'm jumping in off stages. I'm entertaining my crowd. I'm doing this, that, and the other. So when you look at his little piece of rebellion, he's saying, hey, I'm not trying to be like everybody else. And that's what we're supposed to embrace. We have to embrace that because we don't want a bunch of cookie cutter artists running out here. And speaking of which, one more time, we'll put the number out there. Call in 657-383-1155 if y'all want to chime in. Tweet us at GFT_radio. But one more thing I want to point out, and this goes back to our boy Future. So I was watching this documentary about Future. Literally, it's a documentary about Future out there, talking about talking about why or not why, but it was talking about how hip or mumble rap came about, right? And so the thing is that they attribute Future to the creation of it, right? But they said this is the reason. This is the reason why Future had to do what he did. And this touches on what you were saying about L.A. Reid. So Future is actually part of Dungeon Family. That's a little known thing that a lot of people don't realize. And if you're not sure what Dungeon Family is, think about your Outkast. Think about your Outkast. Think about your Goody Mob. Think about your CeeLo Greens. You know, so the Dungeon Family is a production group, a group of artists, a group of hip hop, enthusiasts who put out music over the last 2 decades and almost 3 decades now. Yeah, exactly. So the thing about Dungeon Family is this, they're from the South. Record, and I forgot the guy, which guy it is. One of them is their mama's basement. They literally are in their mama's basement, 24/7, recording. Getting these guys, in and out the studio. So anyway, being part of Dungeon Family in the late '90s, early 2000s, most of the artists that came through there had to develop their own sound. They all had, and that's how you notice that a Outkast sounds different than a Goody Mob, a CeeLo sound different than a Big Boy, a Big Gip sound way different than 3 Stacks. So a lot of the artists had their own sound. Actually, pretty much all of them had their own sound, their own methods, their own ways of doing music. Exactly. So you have Future comes in near kind of the end of an era, right? He came in right around the time when I think Outkast was taking was coming off their peak. I believe he was also coming in around the time when Goody Mob had broke up and CeeLo was doing his thing, and so he was in the basement. He was trying to figure out his sound, trying to figure out what he was going to do, and he said he got in the studio and he started rapping a certain way, and everybody started vibing off of it and was feeling it, and that was the creation of mumble rap, and it was his way of becoming different from everybody else, his way of and so he created a whole sound, and like you said, Clint, a lot of people have kind of jumped on that bandwagon and they all sound the same. You look at Amigos, and Amigos has been attributed with taking his whole style and running with it, and but the thing is that he did that out of necessity. He not that he had no choice, but he had no choice. You know what I mean? It was what he came up with, and it worked for him. It worked immensely. So, he had hit after hit, and he started to pump out all that extra music, and it went from there. But that was the thing is in the culture itself. The culture is about creativity. It's about being different. It's about being innovative, and it's about creating something out of nothing. And that's what these artists are doing, and you have to embrace that, because every new artist, as much as some are going to sound like others, there's going to be a new artist that's going to break away from the pack, and it's going to create its own mold. You listen to a Dave East who kind of sounds like certain New York rappers, but Dave East has his own rhyme style. Dave East has his own lyrics, his own topics that he's talking about. You listen to a Vic Mensa who just all the way around has his own thing going on, and you start to see that there are artists out there who are still embodying and embracing hip hop as a culture for what it was intended. So you definitely have to do the service.
Take a Meek Mill. Like I love this album that he got out. I love it personally.
Oh yeah, me too.
But when you listen to Meek Mill, this is how hip hop has become universal, and this is why Meek stands out. You can tell Meek a Philly rapper by his energy, about how he raps, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he from an era where he grew up listening, where Atlanta, that down south, had started taking over hip hop. So like when you hear his music, you can almost hear that. That down south feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Blended with that Philly raw in your face energy. You know what I mean? That's what makes him stand out. A lot of people like some of these rappers sound like down south rappers or down south rappers. I think we all every side influences each other.
Right.
You feel me? And I think that's the beauty of this era. You feel me? Because you look at somebody like in Detroit, you feel me, that sound like somebody in Jersey. It's not that they copying their style. It's just that, hip hop has become so universal. Because before, I remember growing up, like it was rarely I heard, unless he made it big, I really never heard of a rapper from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure like they never heard of rappers from Jersey.
Right, true.
You know what I mean? It was just because that we didn't have social media. You know what I mean? Everything wasn't so accessible. Hip hop wasn't so accessible to everybody. Each coast wasn't, unless they was famous. You feel me? So I think in this culture, even though I complain about like the sound, like everybody sound like the Migos too. Like the Migos took Future sound, then everybody started sounding like the Migos. And you got the dude Travis Barker or Parker, whatever his name is, Travis Scott. Like they still his sound too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
True.
I have an issue with that. What I do like though.
But when you look at when you watch, I know everybody watch Straight Outta Compton, and y'all saw when they trying to get them New York rappers to sound like them, but they wanted like how they was having them do when they did that booth section when they were trying to get them to sing that cruising down that whatever the one East did, right? Okay, so they were trying to get them to sound like them, but it wasn't New York rappers like this ain't us, this that old whack they thought it was whack. And so that's when you go like you said, people got to find their own sound, and that's why NWA found their own sound because they knew that they were different, and then how they were rapping wasn't like New York. They were rapping like themselves, and they can't. And they couldn't fuse the two, so they had to be who they were, and that's why they made it successful because they were who they were, and they got big in their own hometown, and then they made it even bigger.
And you know what they say, you know what I mean? You feel what you don't understand.
Yeah.
And back then, that goes right along with what I was just saying. They probably went out there, they probably didn't really never ever listen to California rap. Mm-hmm. All they know is New York rap.
Yep.
So then when they go out there and they listen to that, what the fuck is this? I felt like that when the first time I went down south when I was younger. I'm like, yo, what is this y'all listening to?
I liked it when I went down there. When I was
young, like 13, 14.
When I went to Cleveland, I had that's when I first got introduced to Nelly and Bow Wow. Like I heard Nelly, his country grammar. I heard that whole thing before I left. Like maybe a year before he came out, like out. Mm-hmm. I knew all that. I knew all these songs before everybody knew because I was down there, and that's all they played. And I was like, who is this guy? And then he got big, and I'm like, oh, I've been listening to him. Like, because he brought it home from the Midwest, and even though his shit was like sing-songy and catchy, I thought I liked it.
I always say once you really take the time and listen to it and accept something for what it is, then I can't judge nothing until I accept it for what it is and be objective about listening to it. Like when I first went down south, I'm listening to that music. Like, man, I was just totally rejecting it. Like this ain't where I'm from. This ain't what I listen to. You know what I mean? But then, when you get to know the people and you see how people vibe to it, and then you start understanding the lingo, you be like, you feel me? I get to some of this now. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing for the most part. It's just a little flat. It's just a little different.
Yeah, like that's why, like Rich Homie Quan. Like, when I tell somebody I like Rich Homie Quan, they look at me crazy. I'm like, yo, go listen to his mixtape. Just go listen.
Right.
Just listen to him. You feel me? Don't judge him. Listen to him. You feel me? Listen to the whole song. Listen to the music. Listen to the words. I'll be like, you're a digger. You feel me? You're a digger. You know, and I think, if Rich Homie Quan came out in the 90s, he wouldn't survive.
Right.
In my opinion. Right. Because that was a
true.
different type of, when you listen to music differently. And it was, that was a whole different type of era. So back then, somebody come out with it. But now, listen to him,
yeah. I mean, you gotta take it from, like you said, take it how it's and understand where it's coming from, and know that it's not gonna be like what you used to, especially with a lot of these. Like a lot of people probably like Soulja Boy, they probably think he's best ever.
We got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left. I got to ask y'all something. I got to switch it up real quick.
Go ahead.
10 minutes left. You feel me? So what y'all gonna do? You know what I mean? When Kim Jong-un sent one of the things over here.
man, I saw a meme yesterday. Me and my daughter was cracking up because it said, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat Trump's behind if we don't at least get this Black Panther movie before he ends the world, man. I was like, exactly. Like he about to take us out the game. We ain't even got through the end of the year. Yeah, I need at least one more good Avengers movie before the end of the world comes. Can I at least have that? Can I at least have that?
No, I want to see the Justice League, and I want to go see what's the name? Black Panther. Like, let me see that and then kill the world. But at least,
right, exactly.
Like,
at least get through that.
Yeah, like let us get that and leave.
Trump won't let us be great. That's what it is. He's trying to take us out the game before we can be great. I know what it is. That's what it is.
And you will be met with fire, fury, in the force never seen by the world.
No, but before we end the show, y'all need to watch Game of Thrones and binge watch it. That's like the best show ever. You don't gotta watch none of these ratchet TV to watch Game of Thrones, and then we need to have a conversation about it on the podcast because that fucking show is the best shit ever.
Yeah, I got my official introduction to it. My beautiful friend introduced me to it this weekend, and I couldn't believe how crazy that show just started off. I mean, it was wild and reckless the first episode, and I'm already kind of hooked. And then
which season you watched? You watched it from the beginning?
Yeah, I literally started episode 1 this past weekend, but then I had to watch because she also needed to watch the current episode. I had to watch the new episode too the next day, so it was a crazy contrast, watching it from day one to like 7 years later. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna binge watch it through it because it's a crazy show. I definitely see why people love it.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah.
Clint, we need you to get on board.
Not gonna happen.
Man,
I'm serious.
It's a good show.
Clint, I'm not asking to watch nothing else. I ain't asking to watch no hip hop. I ain't asking to watch none of that stupid shit. Game of Thrones. When I tell you you're gonna watch it and love the shit out of that show, you're gonna be hooked.
Nah, that's good show like that. Not my type of show.
It's a good show, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Just conform. Just conform. It's a good show. Just conform.
If I had to get Snapchat,
because I feel like, like I still think Power wild average.
No. Like fuck Power.
Like
fuck
so
them all.
everybody just compare them. No. Everybody say those the two top shows.
No. When I tell you, I would choose Game of Thrones. First of all, fuck Power. I watch Game of Thrones before I watch goddamn Power. Power is the last on my list. Game of Thrones is first. If I had to choose between, they both come on at the same time. Fuck Power.
Okay, what's your top show right now, Clint? What's your top show?
What's my top show right now? Oh, I'm a web series dude, bro. I'll be on YouTube watching Respect Life, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so Clint, if you watch Game of Thrones, I'll start watching Respect Life.
That's a good trade. That's a trade-off. That's a good trade.
Okay.
Compromise.
All right, put it like this.
At least watch episode number 1. At least watch episode number 1.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. I'll watch one episode. I'll watch the first episode. and see how I go from there. But mind you, it took me about 2 years to watch Power. Matter of fact, it's the 4th season, so I had to binge watch that a few months ago.
No.
Right.
Game of Thrones, like Clint. I've never suggested a show to you. Clint, I've never suggested a show to you. I'm strongly suggesting Game of Thrones.
All right, well, let me ask you something. Did y'all ever watch Spartacus?
Spartacus? The movie?
No, the show that used to come on Stars.
No.
I watched. I think I watched like the 2nd or 3rd episode of that. It was all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you watch Spartacus, you'll like Game of Thrones.
What about Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy?
No, I never watched
them.
I watched.
You watched Sons of
episodes. Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of that. It was a good show.
Is Game of Thrones better than that?
Oh, Game of Thrones is
it started off with more intense than that. Yeah.
Game of Thrones basically is unpredictable. When you think somebody's safe, bitch, they dead, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Ain't it like animals fighting and that stuff and everything too?
No. You watch it. You gotta watch it, bro. Just watch it. I'm telling you. You there's nothing nobody can explain to you other than that it's an amazing show. So just go watch it. I'm telling you, it's not about.
And it's not predictable.
And it's definitely not predictable. I was shocked at how. Man, I can't explain it without giving any of it away, and I don't want to ruin it for you. It's one of them shows you really gotta watch.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, you gotta really watch it.
And I'm gonna get y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know the real.
All right. Next week we're talking about the hot top shows. Everybody bring a show to put on the fire so everybody can know what's.
I got like for me it was my top 3 was Game of Thrones, Criminal Minds, and Law and Order.
Law and Order? Oh man.
Tell you.
We're gonna talk
Criminal
about next week.
SVU.
We're gonna cheer it till next week. We're gonna cheer it till next week.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening tonight. So y'all give us our info.
Y'all know y'all can hit me up on my blog site, akimtruth.com. Find me on Twitter at eTrentonGroovy. Instagram, Clint Black, BLAQ. You know, I'm everywhere.
All right, this is Willie Styles. You can catch me at Willie Styles everywhere. That's STYLEZ. I just posted another one of my links, which if y'all want to check out some real hip-hop culture, some real and some fake. Hey, I cater to everybody. So come check out stylesradio.com. That's my music blog where I post new tracks from new artists, or established artists, their new stuff. Tons of hip hop culture out there, classic stuff too. So come check it out. As well as I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Willie Styles. And hey,
you got a whole goddamn budget.
Right.
And I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Find me on my personal blog, unreservedlyme.com. Check out our Facebook page, GST Radio. The logos are up on some of the pages. Check out, follow us on Twitter at GST_radio. That has the same username as it is our IG. Catch us on anything. Look us up on Google. You'll find us everywhere. Good night, guys.
Holla.
Willie. Holla. Hey, Ja Rule.
You know, that's been my word. Hey, before Ja Rule.
Ready? Okay. We got paper, yes we do. White ruled notebooks, pencils, glue. We got crayons, every hue. School supplies for your whole crew. Target's got everything you need to ready, set, go back to school. Ready? Okay. We got paper, yes we do. White ruled notebooks, pencils, glue. We got crayons, every hue. School supplies for your whole crew. Target's got everything you need to ready, set, go back to school.